Terrifier is back, Art the Clown is back, Sienna's back, the whole gang is back together, and man, what a joy. This is everything we could want from a Terrifier movie. It has new and inventive kill scenes, which we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about each one of them, so stick around. It's got a pretty engaging story. It looks gorgeous. This movie has a budget, and it looks fantastic. And in the end, that climax, oh my god, that climax is so damn good. I was not expecting this movie to pivot to where this movie goes, and I was so happy with the climax. I was like cheering. It was such a fun climax, and again, we're going to talk about that as well. But most importantly, I didn't puke and I didn't faint. In fact, I sat 3 rows from the screen. I had a small popcorn smothered in butter and a small Pepsi, and I had such a fun time. Although I will say, like, up front, I do think I prefer Terrifier 2 to this movie. I think Terrifier 2 is still my favorite. I don't know, I think I just like the story better. I like the introduction of Sienna and her family, and I don't know, there's just something really bold about that second movie. But hey, we're not here to talk about Terrifier 2. You love it, I love it. We need to talk about Terrifier 3, so let's get into it. Okay, so Terrifier 3 is 5 years later, and Sienna and Jonathan are trying to cope and process the events of the second movie. And they're seeing visions, and they're having a rough go at things. And meanwhile, Art the Clown is running around the suburbs, doing his thing. Eventually finds a Santa suit, and all chaos ensues, and yada yada yada. Let's talk about the kill scenes. And hey, you know what? While we're here, let's just rank them. Okay, so pretty obvious here. Spoilers. If you've not seen this movie, please go check it out and come back when you're ready. And with that out of the way, let's rank some of these kills. I think I counted like 6 main kills of the movie, so let's rank them. So number 6, I would say, is the Chris Jericho death scene at the hospital during the hallway. This is where you know, a headless Art the Clown and Vicky kind of ambush him in the hallway and push him up against the wall, and I think they both start peeling his face off. It's pretty gnarly stuff, pretty fun. And actually, it has one of the most effective jump scares of the movie. There's a moment where Chris Jericho looks into the room, sees Vicky, and is kind of horrified. And then he looks down the hallway and sees the headless Art the Clown walking down the hallway. And we cut back to a reaction shot of Chris Jericho. And then Vicky just, you know, slams into frame from the right side and like throws him against the wall. It's a pretty decent jump scare, one I wasn't expecting. It got me. I was like, oh shit. Number 5 is the opening to the movie. This is Art the Clown going into a house and butchering a whole family. Yeah, some pretty gnarly stuff. It's a pretty crazy way to open the movie. Some interesting gore towards the end with the mother of the family. Man, that poor little girl. We don't know what happens, but probably not good. And number 4 is Santa's death. This is probably the most interesting and fascinating kill scene of the movie, where Art the Clown uses liquid nitrogen and you know, ties up Santa and you know, sprays him down and starts kind of hammering it away at some of the frozen bits. I think the effects are really cool here because they do a good job at like presenting that crispy top, and then but once he starts kind of hammering in, it's all like gooey and red. I don't know, it was just a really cool, inventive way. Actually, that whole scene in the bar is so intense, and it's a lot of fun. And these movies do this. Like, the first movie had the pizza scene. The second movie had the, what was it? The Halloween shop. And now this one is in a bar. And yeah, that whole sequence is just a lot of fun. And Clint Howard is in that scene, which was like, whoa, it's Clint Howard. It's good to see you, buddy. But yeah, overall, that scene in general with Santa is really fun. Number 3, I don't know how much I can say on YouTube with this one. Actually, a couple of these, I'm going to try and dance around what they actually are because I don't know what I can say. But I'm just going to call this one the glass shard death scene. This is where the 2 workers come into that house where Art the Clown and Vicky are kind of like hibernating. And they wake up and they start attacking these 2 workers. And I think Art the Clown uses a box cutter. I'll just say that. And meanwhile, as he's kind of butchering this guy, Vicky is standing off to the side with a glass shard, and yeah, I'm not going to say what she does with that glass shard, but it is one of the most gnarly things I've seen all year, and maybe even my lifetime. And number 2, in the climax, there is a tube and some rats that are involved. And just like the liquid nitrogen, this is just another example of how inventive they get with this movie in terms of their kill scenes. They're really thinking outside the box. This one was pretty freaking crazy. I've never seen anything quite like this. It goes pretty hard. I was just like, I cannot believe I'm even watching this right now. This is pretty damn wild. and then it culminates with that, and then the slop. It was just like, whoa, that was insane. And number one, the best kill of the movie, it's no surprise here. That's the one that everyone's been talking about. And it is the shower scene in the dorm rooms at the college. This is where the chainsaw comes into play. This is very reminiscent of the bedroom scene from Terrifier 2, mixed with the woman hanging upside down in the Terrifier 1. It's kind of a mix of both of those. Yeah, very brutal. Very intense. I don't think this goes as hard as the bedroom scene in Terrifier 2. I think that one is still like the most insane kill scene of the entire franchise. But this one comes pretty close. You see a lot of things. You see more than what you think you're going to see. It was just like, oh my gosh. It got my whole theater to kind of laugh and giggle at it. But yeah, it's gnarly. It's bloody. It is easily the highlight of the movie in terms of the kill scenes. So yeah, that shower scene is the best. Okay, so the kill scene's out of the way. I really want to talk about that ending because, man, I was so surprised and impressed where this goes. This ending basically turns into an action movie. Like, I was just like, whoa, this is so much fun. It's like, you know, you've been waiting this whole movie for Sienna and Art the Clown to go toe to toe, and when they do, they're battling it out, sword and chainsaw. It just becomes a toe to toe fight scene in this house, and I was like, dude, this is awesome. Like, how did we go from a horror film to like an action good guy versus bad guy fight scene? Like, this is really awesome. In my opinion, it doesn't go as long or as intense as I kind of wanted it to be. It's like, man, you got this great action set piece that you can kind of go further with, but unfortunately it's very condensed. It's a very short scene, but they do a lot with it in that short scene. Again, it's a blast to watch. But again, I mean, you're in a house. You probably could have you probably couldn't have killed Vicky so quickly. You could have had I think it was Gabby, the niece. You could have had Gabby and maybe Jonathan in that scene. And don't worry, we're going to talk about Jonathan. But Jonathan and Gabby could have ran up into the upstairs while Vicky runs after them. And so you can cut between the fight between Art the Clown and Sienna, and also what the kids are dealing with Vicky upstairs. Like, you could have had more fun. You could have explored the space and just kind of had a really, really fun big climax of the movie. But instead, it's just kind of relegated to that fight scene. But I'm not trying to take anything away from that fight scene. I think it's very strong. It's actually well choreographed for a guy who's been doing nothing but horror scenes. He choreographed a pretty intense fight scene. So yeah, I was just so impressed and shocked that this movie just went that route. I was like, this is awesome. I cannot believe I'm watching these two go toe to toe right now. It's so much fun. And I don't know how I feel about Art the Clown kind of playing second fiddle to Vicky. There's that kind of reveal that they're demons, and the demons taking over Vicky and controlling Art the Clown. So Vicky kind of becomes the big bad of the movie. And while I think that's a pretty clever idea and an interesting one, I don't know. It's just like, we all love Art the Clown. We are here for Art the Clown. So to kind of push him to the sideline and not make him all that relevant in the climax, I don't know. I'm kind of torn by it. Again, I think it's a clever idea, but I'm just like, it just made Vicky the star villain of the movie for 15 minutes. And I was just like, bring Art the Clown back in. As cool as Vicky is, it's just like, we're here for Art the Clown. We want Art the Clown to do the crazy shit. And then Jonathan, man, you know what? I don't think that he's dead. There is no freaking way that they just did him dirty like that. I refuse to believe that. I think he's actually alive. I think that Vicky's just lying to Sienna. I think that Jonathan is alive and well. Because at the end of the day, this kind of goes back to movie language, right? There's that thing in movies where if you don't see the character die, they're going to come back. You can never believe a character is dead unless you actually see them die on screen, because if you don't see them die on screen, they're just going to come back and oh, he was alive all along. And so I do think this is an example of that. I do think that Jonathan is alive. I do think he's going to come back for the fourth movie. But yeah, either way, but if they don't, if he is really dead, I mean, damn, they did him dirty. They did him so dirty if this is actually true. But yeah, overall, guys, this is one of my favorite horror films of the year. Like I said, I would probably give this in the S tier. It is a blast. It is everything we wanted. It is so much fun. I'm probably going to watch this, not every Christmas. I don't know if I can watch this every Christmas, but I do think I will, over time, cycle this into my Christmas watch list. It's a blast of a movie. It's well worth the wait. And yeah, I highly recommend this movie. Please check this one out, especially if you've seen the other ones. So yeah, guys, big recommend. Please go check this one out. Have you seen Terrifier 3? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Please let me know what you thought in the comments. And until the next time, I will see you on the next one.